Welcome to episode 102 of the OVWP podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. My name is Jack Minogue.
And I'm Brian Hines. And if you've listened to this podcast more than 5, maybe 10 minutes, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
Today we are getting into all the action from OVW Rise, which was TV 1347, broadcast originally, I guess, on, what would that be, June 4th? June 5th. June 5th, 2025. We have some other things going on around town, right? Around the state, right? We've kind of gotten, we mentioned last week that that Overdrive has new hosts.
That's true.
I saw last night they were having some margaritas on there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Good for them.
Yeah, I misspoke last week when they asked who the new hosts were. I said it's actually Jessica White, so that is a deduction on my part.
I think that you actually gave the name of our coworker.
No, I didn't. She is also at OVW quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought I was like in my mind. That's what.
Oh no,
I hadn't thought about it, but I can see why you would think that.
Yeah, I could see why you would think that too, and that is not the case. But my apologies, and I'm glad that I got a chance to make a correction.
We do have Haverford Waste. That would be bad.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's bad. Haverford West update though, right?
Yes, I've actually made some friends in the last couple of days.
Oh, good for you.
On Twitter. So we did put a short up that takes all of the Jim Cornette stuff that Rob Edwards talked about and into one reel, so that hopefully we can make Jim Cornette talk about us. No, nothing on that just yet. But in releasing that, Rob was kind enough to retweet that, and we caught the attention of some people called the Claddagh Casuals, the CLADDAU. I am very blind, and it's very small text, but that's a Welsh term. These are people who are basically the unofficial. They're fans of Haverford West County.
Oh.
So they post about them all the time, and we kind of met and have had some conversations, and we're going to be getting some more regular. I actually talked to Rob about these Haverford West County updates. We're going to get in touch with some people from his organization and get kind of more formal things about what's going on.
So their people are going to contact your people?
Yes.
Okay.
And I only have me, really, so yes. But anyway, so they're about to do the draw for the European League out there in
okay,
because they're going to do European play. And I asked,
is that like how they figure out who they're going to be playing against?
Exactly. Okay. So I asked, and they're like, by this time next week we'll know who our opponents will be. And I'm like, is it a seeded draw or a random draw? You know, do they try to match people of equivalent quality, or is it just completely random? And I'm going to read you what they sent me, and you guys can help me figure it out.
Dang, didn't even have it ready. Dang.
I did, and then I hit a button.
Well, that is a deduction right there.
Yeah, I've earned that for sure. So first they sent me a picture that has the name and flag of everyone who's in the tournament.
Okay.
That's a long list. I'm not going to sit here and read a bunch of country names for you. But first they said 2 pots, a seeded and unseeded. Teams from the same country can't play each other. On the morning of the draw, pots will be made up of 5 seeded and 5 unseeded teams. We will then know which one of the 5 seeded teams we could face until the draw happens. So that's half. Hang on, I've got a whole other message to read here.
Do they make you cap message thing on count?
Yes, it's 280 now, I think, on most social media platforms. Anyway, then on the following day, another draw is made, which will draw Team W or Team X versus Team Y or Team Z. So that should be teams. So that should teams be successful in the first round, they'll know which of the potential sides they'll face in the second round.
I don't get it.
I mean, as I was reading it, and I've read it a few times, I felt like I was listening to anime. This is, we're going to have a mystical tournament, and here's how it works.
That's the premise of Mortal Kombat.
I'm sure that is in fact true.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Be careful they don't bring the wolves.
Yeah. You want to talk about things that don't make sense?
All right.
Wait until Malachi and I's anime podcast.
So we're still learning, and they're going to help us. They're going to help us learn a little bit about European football, maybe. But that's your take it for what it's worth, folks. That's your Haverford West update.
Okay.
All right. We actually have one this week.
Yeah, we do.
All right. Cool. Let's update our tour calendar.
Yeah, speaking of updates, you can catch OVW at Hot Point Davis Arena tomorrow and every Thursday. Doors open at 6:15, Overdrive starts at 6:30, and Rise starts at 7 o'clock. You have OVW at the Rumble at the Raceway Series, Ponderosa Speedway.
Oh,
Junction.
actually, update on that.
Oh,
Those shows are canceled.
they are?
Oh no,
Yes.
I had not heard that.
Well, I will make notes accordingly. That is unfortunate.
That is quite unfortunate.
No one's more upset than me. Okay.
All right. Is that where the Mexican restaurant was?
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Mexican restaurants.
Guadalajara.
You know, if I won the lottery, I would like to buy that restaurant and turn it into a comedy club and call it Guadalajara.
I don't think that'd go over well in Danville.
No?
Mm-mm.
No laughing in Danville.
No. Well,
Anyway.
first off, no laughing in Danville, and second off, we gotta have Guadalajara. They
can keep the
It's
food.
integral to the economy.
We can keep the food. We'll just laugh while we're there.
If we're not at 7, we'll have a little brick stage with a fake brick background, and we'll bring somebody.
I actually
up.
think they got fake brick. I think the interior of Guadalajara
See,
on the hill is fake brick.
It already works.
It's as the
Guadalajara,
prophecy
here we come.
dictated.
We have OVW Hard Reset this Saturday at Hot Point Davis Arena, June 14th. We have a free all-ages show at Element Eatery, Cincinnati, Ohio, June 28th. Our favorite shows of the year are at the Manchester Music Hall. You can catch the next one on July 5th. They will be at Courtesy Acura here in Lexington, Kentucky on July 12th, the following Saturday. And OVW Independence Rage at Hot Point Davis Arena on July 26th. You can get tickets for any and all of these events at OVWTix, that is TIX.com.
I think so there's also going to be one on the 13th, so Friday, the day between Rise
That's
and
LaPorte.
Hard Reset. Yeah, that LaPorte. Do we have that on there?
No.
I was going to say. Yeah, LaPorte Civic Auditorium.
Where's that?
That's in LaPorte, Indiana on Ridge Street. Doors open at 6. Bell time is at 7. Tickets at OVWTix.com. I know that because we now know who Cal's partner is going to be.
That's right.
And that would be the Damager himself, Badass Billy Gunn, right? No. Help me.
What is his name now? What does he go by now?
Billy Gunn.
Daddy Ass.
Well, Billy Gunn is what's on the poster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Daddy Ass Billy Gunn is what he goes by
Oh,
now.
okay. I'm sorry. I'm an old man, and but yeah, that's
You don't heard Scissor Me Daddy Ass? You never heard that?
I've heard that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to go there, but you did, so that's okay.
It's wrestling. It's wrestling.
It is wrestling.
it's AEW specifically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nah, that's what I thought.
What's that supposed to mean?
I mean, it just when you said that, when you
Nice.
named that gimmick,
Scissor Me Daddy Ass was over, baby.
Yeah, for real.
I'm not saying it's not over. I'm just saying I recognized where it came from.
If we say ass too many more times, this podcast might be over.
I'm gonna have to bring back the PG-13 sign.
Ass is so PG-13.
It sure is. You're right.
No, fine.
I think you can say it on the radio even during the day.
Well,
Which means it's very, very, very legal.
All right, then.
badass.
Daddy Ass.
Daddy, yes, that too. Y'all want to throw to commercials so we can light this candle?
Well, I thought you were going somewhere with that.
No, I just realized that was one that wasn't
That was
on
an
my list.
illusion.
Okay.
Well, no, I mentioned the show. I just wanted to mention it, and that he was, and since I knew it because I remembered seeing Billy, so there it is.
We will be dad right after Ass.
Ass, Tiny Brian. Ass, daddy. Daddy ass, scissor. Ass, city, scissor, daddy, ass. Now back to the OVW podcast, already in progress.
That break was brought to you by AI.
That was chat. We chat GPT did that one.
Yeah, just like my hair is brought to you by humidity. Screwing curly hair up for people since the beginning of time.
Chat BKW.
Chat BBW.
BK.
That was my middle initial Malachi was alluding to there.
Oh, well, I was talking about something different.
Anyway,
Let's get into all the action from this week's show. Brian Hines.
can we do that?
I think now's the time. What better place than here? What better time than now? My good buddy Zachary De La Rocha said.
That's right.
So first match of the evening. I guess we have a little bit of bad news, right, at the start of the evening.
Yes, we do.
Dustin Jackson, who's had a great run at the Media Championship,
Mm-hmm.
is stripped of the title through no fault of his own. He's unable to compete, unable to defend the championship.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, hopefully he's in good shape. Hopefully he's healthy. I have a feeling that he might just be a little beat up, a little banged up. He wrestles a lot, and he wrestles hard.
Yep.
But we didn't get what we thought we were going to get. We ended up getting something totally different. I think that these guys knew that they had to, under the circumstances, that they had to come out here and put on a banger of a match.
And they most certainly did.
They did. Right at the top of the hour, about 20-minute long match. Good stuff. I think that from a wrestling perspective, the writing is kind of on the wall with Katina having already been in the slot against Dustin Jackson.
Right.
So pressure really is on for these two guys to come out and make the audience believe that anything could happen. And they did. They rose to that occasion. And nothing like a little bit of pressure, I guess, to bring out the best in people. And Toatelli and Katina here proved themselves to be excellent dance partners.
From what I've seen so far, I mean, this, in my mind, is a prime candidate for match of the year.
I could not disagree with you there.
20 minutes right off the bat. Sensational match.
Well, it's a different kind of match than we've seen a lot of in Ohio Valley Wrestling, right? It is a little less what's the word I want to use? It's a little less plotting, right? It's a lot of action in this match.
Nothing but.
And these two guys they move very quickly. They're very fast workers, right? So just a lot of peril, right? A lot of what's the word I'm looking for?
Drama?
Yeah, drama. That's
Yeah.
it. I think I like that. A lot of drama in this match. Do we have the clip? What's it? We saw the walkouts, right? What else did we see? Anthony Katina is a great heel, and I was listening to a different wrestling podcast recently, and they made a really good point about heels that I think I would like to extend to the trifecta. Is that like you hate these guys because they choose to cheat, and you know that they don't have to cheat to win.
That's a good point.
Right? And like I think that is so much of a better dynamic for a heel than one that just is taking the short road because it's easier. Right?
Yeah. These guys don't have to.
No, these guys don't have to. They just like to. They
Yeah.
just do it because it's
fun
for them. Right.
Yeah.
And there's something more insidious from a heel's perspective whenever that's why they cheat, I think. And I never really thought of it that way. And I can't take credit for that thought. It was on Hire Brian, in case anybody wants to go listen to that show. But it's valid. It's valid here. It's valid here when we're talking about the
I would say
trifecta. Let's go ahead and see the next clip here. So Katina is out, right, in the middle of this match. He's drooling. He's literally drooling. Nice touch from Katina there.
Yeah.
To knowing that the camera's right there in front of him, knowing to just have a little spittle come out.
I haven't seen that much drool in a wrestling ring since WrestleMania 2.
I haven't seen that much drooling in a wrestling ring since Angelica Riss came back and I was sitting next to Matthew.
If you notice, both the trifecta are actually getting involved here. When the camera switches, you're going to see there's Ashton, and then there's Brandon getting involved as well.
Adonis has
perfect teamwork on their part.
Adonis has Dallas out on distracted, and then Beretta comes in to break the hold.
I got to point out how strong Toatelli looked in this match.
Incredibly strong.
99% of this match was all Toatelli, in my opinion.
Well, and I agree. I agree, actually. And Anthony Toatelli, Josh Ashcraft did a great job of putting over his shoot fighting background.
Yeah.
I guess he just
Well,
now
Yeah,
got
the judo.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I do remember that.
And Josh chooses really great moments to remind people of people's like legitimate athletic and not you know what I mean,
Bona fides.
competitive athletic backgrounds. He doesn't pepper it in quite like Jim Ross. He always uses it and mentions it at moments that make sense inside of the ring. Like he mentioned it when he had the hold, when he was choking him out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not just walking out there and saying, Anthony Toatelli, he's actually like a double black belt or whatever. Josh is very, very measured whenever he uses these references. And I think it's important. It's always important to put over people's competitive sports background.
Josh had a birthday recently as
Oh,
well.
that's right.
Good
Happy
for him.
birthday, villain.
So that must have been like a year ago whenever he came down here.
Mm-hmm. About the first time.
Yeah, that was a show. That was a long show. That was a long afternoon.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Go
ready
back
to see
and
a clip?
go back and listen to that one in the YouTube feed. Yeah, let's see our clip.
Boom.
Big Inseguri up top from Toatelli on
He's not
All the way up to
Katina.
the second floor. One for you.
Ducks-
Look at him. The Hague there is just great. And oh yeah?
I think it's smart that Beretta buys his shirts like 2 sizes too small. Makes him look jacked. Yeah,
I love this moment. Hang on. There it is. That's my favorite.
that
Just-
is a Looney Tunes cell.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's a Popeye cell. Is what that is.
Zoinks. That's what
Zoinks.
it looks like to me, is zoinks.
Kind of looks like Elvis too, in that pause that you had there. As I said, though, I think that we all knew where this match was going. Katina was already slotted into the spot. It was about time for Dustin to lose that belt anyway. He had a great run with it. Really, 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 though, as I said earlier, want to put over these two guys for taking suspension of disbelief to a new level.
This
here.
was an epic battle.
This was a great match, and these guys should be very, very happy. And OVW should be very, very happy to have such a banger way to start off the next 2 hours.
It really was.
Of programming here.
Talk about building engagement.
Well, and this is what like Raw when it's good does. This is you have your amazing first match. You've got a bunch of great matches in between. You leave with a question being asked at the end. That's what we did here. That's what we did here over these 2 hours. Is we had great matches. We laughed. We cried. We
We removed.
we were moved. It was fantastic. Yeah, no, this is good stuff.
In the 80s and 90s, this first match would have been the Call Your Friends match, and now it's the post on your internet social media feed match. The holy shit, get on here and look
the
at this.
X match.
Yeah. Look at what's happening. All right, let's look at this finish, shall
Let's
we?
see it.
Such a total. He's faking that his knee hurt or that his ankle hurts.
And
I
there it is.
totally expected Doug to come out at the end of this match just based on Katina trying to fake the ankle injury.
Oh, you mean just like file a claim?
Just be like, and now you guys are with me because you guys have all the championships. I've been looking at you guys,
You're not wrong.
And then they would be like, yeah, no, not so much.
I do think that's what would have happened.
Yeah. They would have been like, read between the lines, dude.
But I did like totally expect it. So we see Toatelli, or Toatelli takes the pin. Anthony Katina is our new OVW Media Champion.
Yeah, congratulations.
Title holder. Trifecta, great run so far. Short run, fantastic run. Very, very capable wrestlers.
Yeah, we're talking 2 months in, right?
Capable singles guys, capable tag guys, and heck of a match here between Katina and Toatelli. Battle of the Anthonys, I suppose. All throughout the evening, Brian Hines, we see Jack Vaughn and Donovan Cecil
Yeah, we do.
in competition.
This is exactly what I hoped we were going to get from these two.
It was not what I expected, actually.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't gonna be like an actual thing.
This is pretty close to what I expected. I think last week I said I thought it was going to be something like hopscotch.
But Donovan's so like mean and badass right now that like having him play Connect 4 or whatever was like, what we doing? What we doing here?
Giving his character dimension.
What we doing here? I don't know. I loved it. I thought I was entertained, but like it just wasn't what I expected. You know, from Donovan the Mammoth, he's got the new presentation. He's got like the UFC style presentation going on.
The man likes board games too.
Yeah. I mean,
Who doesn't?
I'm not surprised. I'm not a big fan of board games.
Well, I love board games.
They're all right. I mean, there's a lot of. It's usually whenever I have to play a board game, it is because I have to spend time with people I don't want to be spending time with.
Like family?
I would rather be doing literally anything else in the world.
Well, that's unfortunate.
And my family, we play Uno, and it gets very competitive. I think we basically stopped because now that my grandmother's not around, there's nothing that's going to keep us from actually just getting really effing mad at each other.
Well, you have that with board games, especially Monopoly. That's why we don't play it.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I don't know. I don't want to be. Maybe I'm just being Jackman over here. Maybe this is just.
I think that's it.
You know, I wanted something like
violent.
Yeah, I wanted to believe that these two guys were about to get in a fight. You know, like
that'll come.
Like, you know,
not all scores can be settled in the ring. Sometimes you need Twister or Connect 4 or something.
The precipice of wrestling is that literally all scores can be settled in the ring. You took my title, you took my girlfriend, you hit me with a car, you threw my invisible knife.
You beat me at Twister. We're going to get to the fight.
I don't know, man. Come on.
Trust the process.
Come on. Yeah, after I yelled about Cash Daniel last week, I'm over here being like, I actually don't like this. About 2 of the evening, Rush Division triple threat match.
Yeah.
Icon Lee, Obsidian Angel, they're in the Goon Squad. And Thomas, how did they say it? Heim?
Is it Heim?
Yes, Heim.
I would change that if that was my last name.
That's close to my last name. What are you trying to say?
Heinz is so much further off that Heim reminds me of a body part, and I don't like to say it.
Okay, that hadn't occurred to me, but all right then.
Heinz doesn't. That reminds me of ketchup.
Yeah, I know. I've been getting that since I was 5.
But I don't know. I don't know if I would go by Heim professionally. I did like him though. I thought he's got a really good look. I like his mustache. You know.
Yeah.
I think. You know, guys from Kentucky should be really mad that now it's just popular to have a mullet and a mustache. Like everybody has it now. But
I mean, Chapman, we remember the '90s. This is not the first time this has been true.
Yeah, this is the return of the mullet.
Oh, I know, man. Yeah, I was.
My first driver's license, I had a mullet.
My birth video, my dad has the biggest mullet and the biggest mustache.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. It was a bad look for him. Just a ginger mullet. That's bad. That's a bad look, man. It's a bad look.
Ginger mullet sounds like an alternative punk band.
Ginger mullet is actually my go-to cocktail.
I was going to say, it sounds like a drink.
Yeah.
Little ginger mullet
Give
on
me
ice.
2 ginger mullets, please.
Yeah, I'll take 2 ginger mullets, extra dry.
We have fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt so off today. Like I almost said I didn't want to record because I started feeling like dizzy in the middle of the day. I was like not all mentally clicking and.
Well, we'd hate to lose you, but we just soldiered on.
Yeah, but I'm here now. I made it.
Okay, well we're glad to have you.
I just feel spacey.
Yeah, it's just been one of those days. It's kind of been one of those weeks, but that's neither here nor there. We should finish talking about this match so we can talk about the next match.
Yeah, we should.
Because then we have stuff to do at 7.
What time is it? Yeah, we got time. We got an hour.
Okay, that's fair. We got an hour.
What did you think of Thomas Heim here, seeing him for the first time?
I mean, my first thought was thanks for coming because he's walking into a 2-on-1. So you know, unless he is, he's got some tricks up his sleeve that we don't know about, it's probably going to be a short night, and the winner is going to be somebody from the Goon Squad.
Right. I had kind of penciled in Obsidian Angel to win just because he's the one that has the pedigree so far. I obviously, when you've got a 2-on-1 situation, the numbers are not in your favor. But this was a great showcase of Heim to say, hey, you know, I'm actually like a smart wrestler. I'm actually like aware of danger, and I know how to mitigate risks like this.
And I can hang with people like these two.
Yeah, and I can hang with people like these two. I thought that was, it made him look very, very smart, kind of having Icon Lee and Obsidian Angel play off of each other as well.
Yeah.
It's
good strategy.
Yeah, this was good stuff. Can I see the next clip, please?
Hang on. It blew past the one I wanted to show you.
Oh, Lord. That's a deduction. Mm-hmm.
Come on, dude. What are you doing?
Come on,
I
man.
ask myself that all the time.
Yeah. Daily.
Icon Lee with a big, huge leg drop there. Obsidian Angel with the elbow drop. Icon Lee with the knee.
Another elbow from Obsidian Angel.
Yeah, Obsidian's back to the elbow.
Now they're laughing and taunting at him. Another knee to the face. Now they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. Who's going to pin? Let's both pin. We can't both pin. We have to decide who pins. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
They really like sharing over there at the Goon Syndicate.
They sure do.
Yeah.
Like they're pretty, you know, laissez-faire with that type of thing.
Sharing is caring.
So they can't. Is that have you ever seen that before? I feel like I've seen two people pin at the same time or something. Like
Two people pin another individual at the same time?
Yeah.
I've seen a person pin a person on top of a person, but I haven't seen two people try to pin and then the ref be like, hey, man, you got to figure this out.
In a tag team match, I've seen two people grab and pin one dude, but that doesn't matter. This is a triple
this
threat.
is a triple threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't have two winners in a triple threat.
Icon Lee ends up taking home the victory here. Can we see the?
I was surprised.
I kind of was too. Just because, like I said earlier, Obsidian Angel is the one with the pedigree.
I mean, if you had to lay money down on this match, you knew it was going to be somebody in the Goon Squad.
Oh yeah. Nah, dude, the Goon Squad, they just seem to get like right there, and they just never take it over the top, you know.
But Icon Lee does not miss many tricks.
No, Icon Lee takes on the victory. Good stuff from Icon Lee.
Yeah.
What is that called? What is that called?
I don't think I've heard the name.
No, his
finisher?
yeah, his finisher.
Yeah, this?
But somebody who's done that before?
I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't either. It reminds me of somebody. Reminds me of something.
It'll come back to you
Yeah,
later.
I'll think of it. So what did we know if there's any implications for the winner of this match?
They didn't really announce it. They do just keep mentioning that they are Rush Division triple threat matches.
Right.
So there's probably some implication, but they haven't exactly announced what that means.
Do we know how many people are going to be?
37.
Okay.
We do not. Knowing OVW, I'm going to go with a lot.
It's a Rush Division Ladder Battle Royal.
Ladder Battle Royal is a mouthful.
Yeah, say that 5 times fast.
No.
So are they staggering? You think they're going to stagger entrances, or
That would be my guess.
they all just come out at once?
Who knows?
I don't know.
And
I
the
don't know.
winners would seem to get the later entries, if I was guessing.
Yeah, that's probably something along those lines. We see a little bit from Star Rider too, the leader of the Goon Syndicate.
Yeah, he just
later on in the evening. Let's talk about this third match, Brian Hines. This is the one that you wanted to get to.
Yes, we see Drew Hernandez accompanied by Superior Tony Evans.
Rachel Leigh and Freya the Slayer.
Oh, I skipped one. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Rachel Leigh versus Freya the Slayer.
Smart stuff from Freya here to come out and say, "Hey, I know who you are, and I know what you think you're gonna do to me, and I'm not gonna allow you to do any of it."
Nope, that's a hard nope.
Very, very, from a wrestling perspective, from a character perspective, that's very, very, very smart action, right?
This was as strong a match as the Donovan Cecil match last week in terms of how Freya dominated this match.
I like that comparison. I
Yeah.
like that comparison.
It really was. Those were the two things that stood out the most to me were the first match and the bar that they set to start this episode of Rise, and this particular match from Rachel Leigh and Freya the Slaya. And she is a woman on a mission.
Yeah.
She wants that title back bad, and it doesn't matter who you put in the ring with her. She's going to the top,
And
whether you like it or not.
later on in the evening, of course, minor spoiler for further conversation. Later on in the evening, she basically guarantees her hard reset title shot for Sophia Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Are you surprised that after this big resounding victory that she didn't just like call her out straight on the camera?
Freya's full of surprises these days.
That's true. That's true. Seems like she is also a little more focused.
Much more focused
than she was when J-Rod was running around. So
Yeah, she's not playing. She's not having any of it.
Rachel Leigh barely gets her attention here.
And nope,
yeah, she's like a fly on a mule.
the arrogance that goes with blocking that strike and then just slapping her to the ground, just blam, and then hand to the face right after that.
It's I liked this match. I thought it was everything that it should have been.
Oh,
honestly.
yeah.
Like it wasn't as long or as like, crazy as the Katina match from earlier, but I thought as a segment and as making Freya look stupid strong and stupid smart,
Invincible, yeah.
invincible. I thought I thought it achieved everything it needed to achieve and was trying to achieve. Let's see our next clip. Yeah. So Freya is not exactly paying attention to Rachel Leigh here.
No.
She's obviously got her eyes set on a bigger prize. Rachel does get a slight amount of offense, a little bit of a hope spot, but
Not much.
Freya's just a little too strong. And she's just a little too badass right now.
Yeah.
And I really
Catches her in midair and then does a swinging backbreaker.
And I really can't get over the how quickly she set the vibe for this match and just like kind of just letting Rachel Leigh know, like, I don't have any intention of wrestling you. I don't want to be out here wrestling you. It is my job to wrestle you. And that is the only reason I'm doing it.
I'm doing it for the paycheck.
I'm concentrating on Sophia Rose.
Mm-hmm.
You just knew it. You could feel it coming off of Freya from the moment the bell rang.
You could feel it in the air tonight.
Let's go ahead and see our pin here. Freya with the big time choke slam.
Ginormous.
Rachel Leigh folds herself in half, and
Yeah,
Freya
there's no coming back from that.
finding the camera. Fantastic stuff. Good stuff from Freya this week. I'm actually strangely looking forward to the Freya Sophia Rose match. I think that the build has been very, very good.
Oh, it's going to be a great match.
And I think Freya's going to win.
I'll think about that, and we'll talk about it in predictions.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a shocker. I think you might see some kids cry that night.
Well, it happens. It's happened before. It'll happen again.
It will. So then we have, the Connect format.
There it is. The Connect Four. Donovan's just about to win it. Oh, no.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of forgot that Jack does heel stuff even in Connect 4, and now I'm back on board. I'm back on board. I think, yeah, that's funny stuff.
That's typical Jack Vaughn.
Yeah,
It's a veteran move.
I just wanted some violence.
Well, you'll get plenty.
I don't think that's too much to ask. Okay. Drew Hernandez and Tony Evans versus Big Zoe.
Now we get there.
Yeah. We're early on into this Drew Hernandez thing. What are your thoughts so far?
He's the Mayan Mauler, right?
Yes.
I would have figured something more in the ring gear department. But
He's a little plain right now in this presentation.
I've seen a lot of people in the chat watching this, talking about how he comes to the ring and looks like a greeter at Walmart or something, and that's not necessarily very nice because he's a Mayan Mauler and he'll beat you.
He looks like a,
Really?
Yeah,
Sorry.
come on.
I meant to.
That's effing 5.
That's
effing 5.
Yeah,
Deductions.
that is a big deduction. I have nothing against that, but come on, man.
Sorry. I was going to say, it's much more of a Tony Evans as manager that you never saw in the
Not really.
when he was with
Jay De Niro.
yeah, with Jay.
I would say I agree. It did seem as if Tony Evans and Jay's relationship was a little bit more one-sided than what we have from Jay De Niro or from Tony Evans and Drew Hernandez right now.
Superior Tony Evans.
Having said that, Jay De Niro did not really, for what it's worth, wrestle singles matches that much.
Not really.
I feel like Drew Hernandez has wrestled more singles matches recently than in a row than we ever saw Jay.
Well, yeah,
with
6
Tony.
months ago we were talking about when do we finally get to see Jay wrestle. That's we were wanting Jay to come in and wrestle.
And now we have.
Yeah.
No update from him this week though.
No, not really. But we did catch a word with him a couple years ago.
Strangely absent from this episode of OVW.
Well, it's Father's Day, so.
Oh, that's true. Big weekend for him.
Yeah.
So we have kind of two guys that are well matched. Both of these guys, I think AJ McKay pointed this out. Both of these guys are looking very svelte.
Yes, I've noticed that about Big Zo for a while. Every time he comes out, he looks leaner and meaner. I don't really have a frame of reference for the Mayan Mauler Drew Hernandez, but very evenly matched, like you said.
Yeah, he's definitely looking a little more svelte these
That
days.
that opening charge, Zo knocked him all the way across the ring into the corner.
Yeah, and Drew Hernandez gives Big Zo a lot here.
Yeah.
In terms of selling him and making him look strong. I said this last week. I think it bears repeating. I think for just the mental sanity of people in the Davis Arena, can we book Big Zo for a win, please?
Yes, please.
No kidding.
I just think people will enjoy it, right?
I would.
Doesn't happen this week.
I mean, he's enjoying life. He's succeeding at life. Let's see him succeed in the ring.
Is Big Zo got like R-Truth energy, where he's just like perpetually over and loses and everyone loves him? Like, is that a good analog for Big Zo?
He definitely has a lot of appeal. He's over with the fans. He's not silly like R-Truth has been in the past, and
Not
he's
like that.
definitely not like Ron Killings is from what I've seen and heard since the pay-per-view this past weekend.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Right.
Happened to be watching it, which I don't usually do. I just happened to be watching it live. No, I just mean definitely not like in the silliness and stuff like that, but just like he has this ability to eat pins and stay consistently over.
He's always over.
And I think that's something that R-Truth has in common with Big Zo. So which one did we just see? Which clip did we just see?
That was Zo Time is canceled in the notes.
And that's Drew Hernandez.
Yeah, here. See, he's going for this thing,
And then
Drew's
nope.
like, nope.
The handspring.
Yeah.
That is pretty impressive to be a big man who can move like that.
That was.
And I remember thinking while I was watching this match how much he reminds me of Bam Bam Bigelow in that respect.
That's a good call, actually. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
This stomp out is just insane.
That's brutal, man. That's more brutal than if he was like working it. If he was just like doing like stomps, stomp, 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 like constant stomps, consistent stomps, just putting him out like he was putting his like he was stepping on a cigarette butt.
Yeah.
That's more brutal.
Yeah, that's more like a burn of sorts.
Let me show you how this ends. It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
Zo looks like he's no.
Drew Hernandez rakes the eyes, puts Big Zo up, and we've got a big-time Death Valley driver from Drew Hernandez. The DVD. It's good stuff. Everybody's finding that camera. You think that's come down? That comes down from on high?
Maybe they had a whole training session on how to find the camera.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up because overall, we've been covering OVW for about 2 years now.
Coming up on it.
We've seen some great episodes.
Indeed.
We've seen some episodes that could have used a little bit more work, a little bit more love. Overall, I feel like this is the best episode we've seen, or in my opinion, as a whole, from OVW. I'm talking about all the little things that we've seen improvements in over the course of the last 6 or 8 months or more. The lighting looks a little bit sweeter. The technical directing, the camera work, all of it. This episode for me fired on all cylinders, whether the person I wanted to win the match did or didn't. As a package, this was the total package. Not the total package, Lex Luger, but you know what I'm saying. You're picking up what I'm putting down.
What do you think, Jackman?
I don't know how to quantify things like best episode or anything like that. I will say a couple of things speaking to my co-host's point, though. All of the work that they've put in is so clearly being it's second nature now, right? You're not like, oh, blown away. Oh, well, it looks so good for them. You're just like, no, this is how OVW looks now. This is how OVW looks. This is what we do now.
There, well said.
I love stuff like just small things like the chyrons. I think the camera quality has gotten better. I think that their shooting, the action, definitely the best. I will say that. I will be definitive about that. The actual catching what's happening in the ring is the best that it's been in our time covering it.
Yeah.
And then also, I guess, lastly, I would say that to your point about like some episodes needed, a little bit more time in the oven or whatever. Those are less consistent now than they used to be.
That's a seldom once in a while kind of thing.
And you used to, when we first started covering this, there were times where we kind of just said, it was about time for an off week. That's not the case. It's not the case anymore.
No.
So I do think that all that, and that's speaking to just an improvement in general quality as well. Is when you, because now an episode like that would stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
As opposed to maybe when we first started covering this and it was just like, oh, that was a pretty good episode. It's not too bad. They're doing the best that they can. There's no more time. OVW knows there's no more time for we're doing the best that we can. Rob Edwards does not play by the motto we're doing the best that we can, right? So it's all just it's a culmination of all the hard work that they've done over the last year,
and it shows.
And it's allowing them to just put out consistently good episodes of wrestling television, which I enjoy.
I love, like, we've got the perfect camera angle for the dude talking in the ring. We've got like a wide angle view. We've got a panning view. I just love that there's now 7 or 8 kind of camera views that they go back and forth between as they tell their stories through cinematography, and I just think it's great.
Yeah. No, they've gotten it down. They know what they want to do. They know how they want to present themselves. They know what they want their television to look like. It's very congratulations.
Yeah, and they are pulling it off.
Speaking of, I can make this thing shush. There we go. You want to see a little operation?
Yeah,
sure.
Listen, this is completely unfair. Nobody can beat this game. That was easy, Jack.
Boom, just like that.
I got it all in like 5 seconds. You know what? You cheated. I didn't have my glasses on. Completely unfair. I didn't have my glasses. Whose fault's that, Jack? Listen,
I love it.
Enough of these kids' games, all right? I'm going to test you in the ultimate competition. Are you ready? Oh, I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I do think Operation is the worst game, the worst classic game.
It's all right if you're little.
Let me introduce you to a little thing
We also
called
didn't have that one.
concentration.
Is concentration the one where you put all the shapes in the...
Yes,
no,
in the
dude,
timer.
Concentration's goated. Concentration is goated.
No, that's called anxiety fuel.
No, I'm so good at concentration.
Well, now, Brian, start watching for start watching the pops for a concentration set.
The what?
We need a
Pops
game.
and
We need.
Goodwill.
I need to.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, we need to find a game of concentration.
We can go get the one that I play at my parents'.
Oh well.
Well, there's that.
Look at that.
No, dude, that's what I do every time I go down there. Just sit and play concentration. in
That
the corner by
explains some
myself. I love concentration.
Tell us about our last match of hour one.
It was a match between Elijah Eros and Super Z. Elijah Eros has got a different thing going on than the last time that we saw
He's
him.
dressed like you.
No, he's dressed like the dude from Street Fighter.
I was going to say Pokemon, but that works too.
Yeah, no, he's is one of the dudes. Ryu, is that the guy?
Yeah.
Or no, actually, I want to say that he's not doing Street Fighter. I believe he's actually doing Double Dragons.
I think you're right about that.
I
now
think
that
he's
you bring
actually
it up.
doing Double Dragons.
But
He's
that
not doing
hat
Street
is
Fighter.
pure Pokemon.
Yeah.
No, they wore one.
We're gonna cycle back. Yeah, you see, he's even got this thing now. But that red trucker hat with the white pat front, that sure looks like a Ash Ketchum to me.
Ash had a symbol on his though.
That's true.
No, I guess I like the new Elijah Eros presentation.
I do.
At least he's wearing shoes.
As a fan of classic video games, yes.
I don't know. I liked the old one. I like the shoeless guy.
Well, you can have both now.
Do you think that's what Elijah Eros should do? Is just like have vastly different gimmicks, like just based on how he feels?
Well, that would kind of fit with the
be
Street
great.
Fighter.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That would be so dope if someone's gimmick was to just be all of the people from Street Fighter.
Yeah, you just don't know who you're going to get.
Comes
And they
out.
change fighting styles and costumes every time.
Now that would be impressive.
Maybe that's what we'll get.
That would be cool, actually.
Yeah.
I'm in support of an idea like that. We need to put that one in the bank for whenever we start a
Yeah,
wrestling
write that down.
company.
That's good stuff.
That's a good stuff. I'm sure someone's already done it. There's got to be somebody out there.
We'll
that's already
have to
done it.
look up after this.
Maybe they can come to OVW. I
Maybe.
don't
Who knows?
know. I've always liked Elijah Eros. It's fun. The new gimmick's fun. It's funny. It's very indie. But Super Z is, now titleless. Kind of needs a little bit of gas in his tank ahead of the pay-per-view and his match with Star Rider. So Elijah Eros is a good spot for him, right?
Yeah, this is a great spot for both of them.
And Elijah Eros is kind of like inherently silly, and Super Z is kind of inherently silly, and they play well with each other.
Mhm.
They do well with each other, as even shown in this clip that we're seeing. Really good chemistry, great communication from these two guys.
Yeah.
Right. Good timing from these two guys.
Impeccable.
Let's go ahead and see our next clip. Elijah Eros, a little bit too much momentum in the corner, hits his head on the turnbuckle, and Super Z takes advantage, kicks him several times, got the bulldog. Elijah Eros flips and flops on that bulldog.
Great selling from Elijah, really.
Yeah, that's the name of the game for him tonight. You go out and make Super Z look pretty good. Make him look as good as you can.
And that was the setup for. We got the next one ready?
Super Z, time to fly. We know it. We love it. And
That's all she wrote
and the
for
pin.
Elijah Eros.
I thought his shoes were too big too.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. You're just used to him not wearing shoes.
Um,
But at the end of this match, we get the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas break-in from Star Rider.
yeah, he challenges Super Z to a Joker's wild card match via Titantron, via video,
Mm-hmm.
and then appears behind Super Z to.
It was a ruse.
Yeah, this is good. This is smart stuff from Evil
A
Z.
ruse to bruise. I made that
Very
up.
good.
Thank you.
What
Give
do you,
yourself some points.
Woohoo. Yay, I got points.
what do you think a Joker's wild card match is?
I have no earthly idea. That's a new one on me. In all of my years of wrestling fandom, I've never heard of anything even remotely close to that. I would imagine that if I had to guess, the stipulations for the match could change at any given time based on the whim of the competitors, or they draw something out of a hat, or maybe it is playing card themed. I don't know.
I have a guess.
Okay.
Um,
What is your guess, Jack?
we're getting a cinematic match. This is gonna be a cinematic match.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think they said they were going off site.
Yeah. So I think offsite is not gonna be the parking lot. You know, I don't think this match is gonna happen in the ring.
Are we going to the Legion of Goons?
We might be.
Could be.
We might be. I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, I think this is going to end up being a cinematic match. I think we're going to see some weird stuff. We haven't seen cinematic match, pre-recorded match
In the whole time we've been covering.
in the whole time we've been covering.
No.
It was right before we started doing it that they had the last one.
So that's
Well,
new
who
for
knows?
us.
Looking forward
That's
to
new
it.
for us. That's going to be cool and fun. Interesting way to.
I'm looking forward to that as much as our friend Matthew is looking forward to this next match.
And that's because Angelica Risk is teaming with Maddie, the American Baddie, to take on Lovely Miss Larkin and the OVW Women's Champion, Sophia Rose.
And Angelica Risk might have some competition because he informed me earlier this week that he also likes Maddie, the American Baddie.
I mean, then this is perfect for
Yeah.
I saw some comments on the OVW YouTube channel that really liked the team of Maddie the American Baddie and Angelica Risk.
You know, it wasn't as chaos fueled as I thought it was going to be. They actually worked really well together.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't sure what to expect. I wasn't sure what this package was going to look like. I didn't really know, but I think that this ended up being a fun little match.
Yeah, it was.
We see here above our heads here Angelica Risk cinching in the headlock, and but Sophia Rose breaks free, sends Angelica into the ropes, hits her with a big time shoulder tackle before throwing her to the corner and hitting her with a knee strike.
The tags were good on the other side of the ring too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Smart tag team action, cut the ring off, quick tags.
No, and honestly, do you remember, how did this not come up when we were reminiscing about 100 episodes? Do you remember when we thought that we were like, oh, we should talk about women's tag titles all the time?
That was me. That was me who wanted to push that and make that happen.
That was a long time.
And I still support that.
Yeah, it's just we've asked everybody, and there's until there's a change, there's no reason to keep bringing it up.
Well, that's true.
And yeah, we absolutely still support it. And Angelica Risk and Maddie the American Baddie, touching butts a lot. Angelica Risk slapped Maddie on the butt on the way out. Maddie put Sophia's face in Angelica's butt. This is all,
They're right up there with Luscious Lawrence.
Yeah, this is some Luscious Lawrence stuff here.
Yeah.
We see, oh, wow, what a killer move that is.
Came straight in and blam.
I don't even know what you would call that. The kind of like bounce off the rope, kind of.
I don't know. It's kind of like a slingshot.
Here it is again. Boom. And watch how fast she's just right up to the top of that rope.
Oh,
and
she's not
over.
playing.
Yeah, it's such a smart pinning maneuver. It's so cool.
Yeah. Whenever she can get you where she wants you, she is up to the top rope, and then bam, that's it. You're done.
Yeah, I think that if they wanted to, and I would love to see Angelica as a single star. I think that that's a better spot for her. But I think that Maddie the American Baddie and Angelica is a fine little team, and it has some legs to it if that's the direction they choose to go.
Yeah.
But the Sophia Larkin chemistry is like just through the roof. It's a great act. It's a great pair.
Yeah.
Really, really fantastic stuff. Looking forward to seeing probably Larkin's role in the Freya the Slaya match at Hard Reset.
Yeah. And as soon as this match is over, here comes Freya to the top of the ramp.
I have a.
Do we have clips of that?
No, I don't have that.
I have a more
that's a
meta. I have a
deduction.
more meta prediction, in the form of Freya's the new champion. Larkin causes Sophia inadvertently to lose the title, and there's the next feud.
Oh, well, I guess we'll just have to see.
That's my guess anyway, because they're too good of friends not to get broken up. That's how wrestling works.
Yeah, and it sounds like Freya's coming after both of them.
Yeah.
And one of the things she could hurt them with the most is driving a wedge between them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
So you were saying Freya comes out after the match. She gets the championship at Hard Reset, and she's also still up in Larkin's business.
Yeah.
Up next, we see Katie Gannon speaking with Tony Evans and Drew Hernandez. Tony Gunn and Crixus are there, too. Katie Gannon, of course, back in her role as, like, the secretary of the Revolution.
I feel like maybe she listens to this podcast and leans into the 3 martini lunch scenario that you put out there, because it seems like whenever we see her on TV anymore, she's like the Iron Shriek.
Half off, buy one, get one, Bud Light Limeritas at lunch, baby. That is
Yeah.
That she just
The $3 draft special at Applebee's.
Oh, Katie Gannon's got more class than to be drinking draft. But she is definitely drinking at Applebee's. That's where you have to drink if you're like in management, and it's the middle of the day.
Yeah, you got to do it off-site.
No, I think she's a lot of fun right now. I think that she's.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
So yeah, we see kind of what could be the potential start of an alliance between Tony Evans and the Revolution.
There's some
Tony
contract work.
Tony Evans, Drew Hernandez, and the Revolution. So these guys' name Money Enterprise.
Eric yelled out something else. I've got them both in your notes there. Money makers or money. Yeah, money makers is
with
what Eric
Kim
said.
Vasion. That's clever. I like that.
And it
That's
was
old school punk rock name.
Kim Sation. Eric said Kim Sation, and then they said Kim Vasion. So it goes back.
So
and
it's like a
forth.
pyramid scheme.
It really
They don't
is.
really have a full-on name.
It's like
or it changes
exactly-
a couple of times, or
It's like whatever city those outlaw boys are from,
Sin City.
or
None of your
Oklahoma
business.
City or Kansas City or
Any city named City.
Indianapolis.
Motor City.
The Indianapolis Outlaws. Dude, that's sick. Dude, somebody needs
that
to
like
use,
a- is that
somebody
like a-
needs to use that.
They're the Minneapolis, St. Paul.
the Quad
City
City,
Outlaws.
Outlaws.
Yeah.
Quad City
that's it.
Outlaws. The Clevelanders.
But the Money Maker Enterprise Good Time Get Down Gang take on
The good time.
Flawless Jake Lawless and Luscious Lawrence.
Yeah, Kim Vasion.
Which
I hope it's Kim Vasion. That's funny. That's funnier to me.
I liked it.
Kim Vasion.
Yeah.
It's like Ronald Reagan. It's like old school punk rock names, dude. Pat Smear, of course.
Of course, yeah.
You know.
I met
so-
him. He was very nice.
He's goated, man.
I'll tell you that story later.
30 of the best songs of all time. 30 of the best riffs of all time. I don't know if they're the best songs. Great riffs though. We see Luscious, and have they decided on a name yet? I missed that.
No, not yet.
I'm still pushing for Lawless and Lush because they sound like a buddy cop duo or something. I see them like driving around town like a bitchin' car.
Yeah, they've got a Camaro
You
and
know.
maybe a robot, and they solve crimes.
Shaking down their contacts on the street, trying to solve crimes and stuff.
Love these tag work though, like veterans.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, they are.
Yeah.
They're both veterans of the tag division at this point. I think Jake Lawless he's a great addition to. I thought he made a lot of sense with Ryan Von Rocket. Doesn't make as much sense on paper with Luscious Lawrence. Makes sense from storyline.
Yeah.
But like just in terms of like two guys who like look like a tag team, maybe not to that level yet. But he's a great addition to Luscious Lawrence.
Yeah. Yeah. They make a great team.
They make a good team.
And they make short work of mutual funds or whoever it is.
Money makers.
Let's see that ending.
Double team of Luscious Lawrence. Nope, not going for that.
A little too smart
Taking
for
you
that.
both down,
A little too smart for that. Luscious Lawrence.
throwing you out, and you're getting the pin. Boom. After you get the boot to the face. And then the big slam.
Good tag stuff right there.
And why is the manager distracting so that
Yeah, what's up with that?
Luscious,
that's not how managing works?
No.
Luscious Lawrence,
Money management.
Luscious Lawrence and
Poor money management.
Jake Lawless, instead of getting upset by Charlene's being distracted, they take advantage of the situation and dole out just a little bit more punishment to, was it Jace Jace Skylar? That's 2 first names. Those Jason Skylar, they were both on the same season of Big Brother. Okay, that you can't be. That's 2 first names. Calvin Creedley.
That's too many syllables.
Come on. It's both of those still feel better to say out loud than Trace Lee Hunt.
Yeah, that still sounds like a serial
much.
killer.
It sounds like I'm not gonna make that joke.
Okay.
Let's watch a little Twister, shall
Never
we?
mind.
You ever try to play Twister in real life?
No.
Not a fun game.
What are you doing? I pulled a hamstring. Oh my god. I can't keep going.
Are you kidding?
I gotta go to the hospital.
You gotta go to the hospital.
Oh my god.
You pull that.
Donovan, angry, upset.
Talking smack to the veteran.
Local medical facility.
Gotta go to the local medical facility.
Mm.
Do they still say that now that Vince is gone?
I
I
don't
bet
know.
they do. Nobody wants them going to hospitals like looking for the Macho Man,
I mean, that was
especially since he's been dead for 20
a
years.
long, yeah. I ain't gonna find him at the hospital, brother. He's
No.
gonna be in the next step of that equation. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
We got the final match.
All right, let's talk about the final match.
The OVW Rise main event between Superior Tony Evans with Drew Hernandez, the Mayan Mauler, versus Cal Hero.
So when we saw this match get announced, I think we were like, that's a little out of left field, right?
Seems like.
So I think given that, we kind of knew that there was going to be, not only given kind of the left field nature of it, but given the Revolution's kind of obsession.
The setup.
Yeah, the setup, Tony. We saw Tony Gunn talking, or Katie and Tony Evans talking earlier, and also the Revolution just can't keep their nose out of Cal's business, right? So up to and including in this match, we're a few days away from the pay-per-view, week away from pay-per-view, one more episode of television away from the pay-per-view, and there's still a lot of questions, right? We got some of them answered already. We've talked about that. But we're what are you smiling about?
Just all the just how things went when we started this episode.
Oh, what happened?
I mean, there was a lot of ass in the beginning of this episode.
There was.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yes, there was. I'm like, what are we laughing about?
Yeah, I was scared.
Yeah, I was too.
Um,
Until I wasn't. You just assumed.
Drew Hernandez out here playing manager for Tony Evans, the way that Tony Evans played manager for Drew Hernandez earlier in the evening. Cal thinks that he's going to be able to take advantage of Tony, get Tony out of the ring, out of commission potentially. Tony just keeps finding himself back in the ring, up to and including Drew Hernandez propping him up just a little bit.
Like a stagehand would.
So Cal just says, I'm just going to flip you over the thing. We're going to do, if you're not going to do what I want you to do, then I'll try something else, right? Whenever Cal's going for the knee, which I thought was a little surprising because we've seen him.
We haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, we haven't seen the knee in a while.
Now that's like the setup.
Yeah.
He's getting ready to hit him with the
Here,
fanny
let me-
pack knee, and then
Here, let me give you a little taste of.
Why won't you just disappear?
About the legends. He's all about the history, man. Look.
I think Katie's just upset with Cal because they had that.
he called the manager, and then the manager cut her off.
No, they had that fling back in the day. Remember?
Did they?
Now in that in story, Cal was trying to.
Oh, that was a fake.
Yeah, he was trying to romance her so that she would
She for the judge thing.
Yeah.
Because she was a judge.
Yeah. So I think she's just bitter about that still.
And she's there the whole rest of the time just yelling at him on an open mic.
Yeah, it's hilarious
During the match,
It's
yeah.
gr- it's great.
It was really
hilarious.
unhinged. I loved it.
It's hilarious.
But he gets caught on that second rope. Bye-bye, Drew
Yeah, we see here Cal Best Drew Hernandez hit the standing O on Tony, and that standing O is taking people out left and right. Have we seen anybody kick out of the standing O?
No.
Not to my knowledge, no.
Yeah, they're really, really, really protecting it. It's good stuff because it's a great finishing maneuver. So kind of post-match here, we've got Katie already out there. She's yelling the whole time. This has been established. Cal says that Dustin isn't his partner.
Yep.
Which, we already know who his partner is, but
Yeah, we do now, but we don't at the time.
but we don't, at the end of the episode, which goes back to what I was saying earlier, is like, this is how really good wrestling episodes are written.
Yeah.
Banger match to open. Great kind of overarching story with the Jack Vaughn, Donovan Cecil stuff. Great matches in the middle, and then a question to be answered next week.
Yeah, we've got a cliffhanger. Who is his partner going to be? They leave us on that.
I think that they also they might kind of they're putting Eric Surge in a place probably where he needs to be.
He does come out and save him again this week.
Right. He's gregarious. He's a gregarious champion. He's always there to aid the other baby faces. That's a good thing.
The most prominent super face.
I like to see that. That's consistent. But it's strangely enough, we haven't seen a lot of Eric Surge around Cal Hero, who, is another one of your biggest baby faces in the company. So I do think that Eric Surge needed to be in that era. I would like to see Eric Surge when Cash Flow comes back be around Cash Flow. I think Eric Surge, not that he hasn't had a great year, not that he's not a great champion so far, but he needs to be kind of cemented into that conversation with that group of guys.
And I think that's what we're going to...
Tony Gunn whenever he's a face.
Yeah, we're going to see when we get to the Hard Reset pay-per-view this Saturday.
What do you mean?
I feel like Eric Surge has the potential to be in that category with everybody else, depending on how the a match with Mount Kadim goes.
No, and I just want to see him on screen with those people. I think it's important to see him on screen. I think it's important for us to believe that he is friends with these people and that all of the other super baby faces have accepted him as one of their own. Right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it ends. Katie's still yelling as we go off. We don't know. We have the question of, I know.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. That show's over. Thanks, guys. See you.